Hi friends, Allison here. I am back again to share with you a new scrapbook process video. It's another mixed media scrapbook layout. I'm using a spray pen to add color this time instead of doing my usual watercoloring with the packaging technique. I'm using some re-inker that I had in my stash. It came originally from Close to My Heart. Saffron, so it's yellow in color. And I sprayed that to the edges of the top and the bottom of my layout. And I'm just adding some scrap pattern paper that I had in my stash also to the top and the bottom of the layout. They're gonna act sort of as borders in this layout, and there isn't going to be really a whole lot in the middle of the page. They're mostly going to be clustered to the top and the bottom. You'll see it as things get going in today's video. Right now I'm just adding some die cut letters that I cut with my Cricut. It's part of my title and is going to say B. So I'm just working on the letter B right now, adding the centers, and then I'm fussy cutting both letters out. I really like this font. I actually don't think it's a font. I think this one is an actual cut file. But I liked that I was able to matte paper behind it. So I dove back into my stash and looked for some more navy blue pattern paper, which luckily I had, and added that to the back of those cut files. This is another cut file, one that I cut with my Cricut. You can find all of these cut files in the Cricut image library. You may have to have the Access subscription though to be able to use these die cuts. I'm not sure if they're available otherwise. There's a heart that I layered behind the word B, which I'm working on right now, as well as the snowflake mobile cut file is what I'm going to call it. I don't know what else to call it, but it does kind of remind me of a mobile. So that got layered over top of each of the borders at the top and the bottom of the page, the snowflakes I mean. And then I matted some pattern paper behind the die cut heart as well. I created the pattern in the heart myself by adding asterisks and using the group and weld function, or attach function, not weld, the attach function, to make sure that the asterisks cut out from the center of the heart. I just made sure that neither of them were too close to the edge of the heart so that there was no issues cutting them out. So B got layered over top of that with some craft foam. You can see it to the left of the screen. And then I added a couple of snowflakes over top and in between. And now I'm working on the rest of the title, which is another die cut image from Cricut that says kind. So the title in full is Be Kind. And I cut that from green cardstock from my stash. I'm just using my liquid glue to adhere that. And I only added a little bit of glue to one part of it because I wasn't entirely sure where I wanted to exactly have the glue so that it would stick to the parts that I wanted it to and not to the parts I didn't want it to. So I just kind of laid it on top and then added the glue where it needed to go, if that makes sense. So that's the top cluster. Now I'm working on the bottom cluster, and that's where my photo is going to go. I did mat some white cardstock behind the photo just to kind of frame it a little bit better. I don't know, I have a real issue with just leaving my pictures naked, as in not having anything matting it. I feel like no layout is complete without mat behind my photos. Call me weird, but that's the way I roll. So there was a tab that I added to the left-hand side of my picture, and then a tiny little snowflake and a little heart that goes over top of that. I added a couple of other snowflakes to the right-hand side of the picture and a really fun banner die cut. It has a phrase in it. I can't tell you right now what it is because I can't remember off the top of my head. It didn't cut perfectly. I've been having significant issues with my Cricut since the last update, and it's still not completely rectified, so I'm just rolling with it and doing the best that I can, but the cuts are not 100% where I'd like them to be, and I don't know if it's because of software or maybe my machine is outdated, or I might just need a new mat, and it could be a combination of those two. So even though it's not 100%, it is what it is, and I'm just rolling with it. I don't want to throw out the paper because I feel like that's a waste. You saw me just add my journaling, and here at this point, I was going to add the date to the tab that I'm going to stamp on right now, but I decided to pull out a Studio Calico stamp that I've had in my stash. That actually came from Paper Issues. It came with one of the scrapbook kits that I got in the past, and decided to stamp one of those phrases onto the tab, and then I just added the date below my journaling. This layout is quickly coming to completion. I'm just going to add some sequins over the snowflakes just to pull a little bit more pink into the layout, because it's in the pattern paper that I have at the top and the bottom of the layout, and then it's matted behind my giant heart as well. So I thought I'd pull a little bit more in. And with that, this layout is complete. There is still shots coming up as well, so feel free to stick around for those if you want to see them up close and personal. Otherwise, I really hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm happy to be back. To me, it feels like a long haul between my last video and then the next video that I do, like if a weekend happens to fall in between. I kind of go through withdrawals, I think. I miss posting, and I really appreciate everybody's support. Really, I truly do. Thank you to all those who have liked my channel recently, and thank you to those that have returned and keep watching my videos as well and leaving comments. Speaking of comments, feel free to leave a comment down in the description box below. Give this video a thumbs up. Otherwise, I will be back again soon with more creative inspiration. Bye, guys.